ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
And it's Friday, January 12th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. We'll get your text in this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're going to open text line all show long as we get set for basketball action tomorrow. Just in case you haven't heard yet, if you haven't been able to follow along all week, game is going to be 4 o'clock tomorrow. So we go on the air at 3 o'clock, and you can listen to that game on, now make note of this, 93.7 The Dog. So if you're looking for the game tomorrow, you want to tune in to 93.7 The Dog, because we're going to have tomorrow Saturday NFL action all day long, and then again on Sunday, all those games, and including the Monday game, right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So we've got you covered with the NFL all weekend long. But of course, if you want to follow the herd and you're not going to the game tomorrow, it's going to be on 93.7 The Dog. So hopefully everybody knows where we're all going. And of course, the herd coming into this game tomorrow, undefeated in league play. How about that? The herd and the Sunbelt seem to be agreeing with each other at this point right now. Marshall 4-0 in Sunbelt play after getting that 79-74 victory over Georgia Southern. And so what does that leave us? That leaves us with an opportunity here, I think, for Marshall to maybe make a deep run in the league. I don't know if that ultimately is going to mean a really good seed in the tournament and maybe a legitimate run this time instead of an exit in your first game. But I think we're going to know more about this team in a couple weeks, because coming up, it's going to be South Alabama. And this is going to be a good test for the herd, sort of. I don't know enough about South Alabama to honestly say, hey, this is going to be a challenge. They're 8-8. Marshall's 9-8. They're 1-3 in league play. Marshall's 3-0 in league play, right? 4-0 in league play. And Marshall, with that win, you're seeing more of the team kind of come together. Kevon Voiles had 20 points in that win against Georgia Southern. Obina Anachili killing. His growth continues. I don't think we really talked about this. He netted his 1,000th career point Wednesday night. 57th player in program history to do so. And the herd now 4-0 since the 2018-19 season. And that's when the team started 5-0. So can the herd go past 5-0? Can the herd go 6-0? Can Marshall push it out? We'll see. I still think that there's some good tests to be had in this league. I think the first part of this non-conference schedule has been favorable for the Thundering Herd. Louisiana, I thought, was going to be the biggest challenge, and they were okay. Georgia Southern, honestly, I think Georgia Southern was probably the best challenge. Of all the teams Marshall's faced, I think Georgia Southern was the best of the group so far. Their overall record might not indicate that. Their conference record's okay, but I think they were the best team so far that I've seen in Sunbelt play go up against the Thundering Herd. That's going to change when we get to James Madison. And by the way, what a big one that's going to be. James Madison and App State. How huge is that one going to be? That's going to be a game that might help shape the perspective of this league to others. I mean, that's going to be a huge matchup on TV. And honestly, I think it's a good strategy with what Sunbelt's doing, making sure that it showcases probably some of the better matchups. And I'm hoping Marshall at this point here soon, when another ESPN game gets selected, maybe Marshall's going to be one of those teams that gets selected. Maybe with Marshall and James Madison, when that comes up, available, ESPN might take advantage of that one. But that's going to be interesting to watch. That's going to be a huge matchup. You got James Madison picked to win the league. You have App State right behind them. James Madison 15-1. They're 3-1 in league play. The Mountaineers are 12-14, 3-1 in league play. App State, they're the best team in the league at scoring defense right now. They're only giving up 63.6. And then JMU leads the league in scoring offense. They are scoring 88.8. So what's going to give here? Is this going to be a game in which scoring is going to come at a premium, or is this going to be a up and down game here? High scoring game or low scoring game? I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle, to be honest with you. This is going to be a fun one. Definitely going to set the recorder for this one and watch it later, as of course the Thundering Herd going to be in action. We go on the air at 3 o'clock with a tip-off set for 4. And speaking of three-point defense, I was looking at some of the numbers today, and I'm surprised by this, because I thought Marshall, this is where I think Marshall could do a few things better. There are 6 teams in the Sun Belt ranked in the top 100 nationally in opponent three-point field goal percentage. Louisiana is giving up 287. James Madison's giving up 288. Georgia State at 290. App State's at 292. Texas State's at 309. And then South Alabama, they are at 309. They are the 84th best team in the country as far as three-point defense is concerned. And I know the Thundering Herd likes to hit the three. I like the way that the team is starting to shape up a little bit better. And I think that Georgia Southern game, even though it was a battle, I felt good about it. We'll see what kind of team that South Alabama brings in here. So that's one of the things you kind of highlight, you keep an eye on. Okay, how good are they going to be at guarding the perimeter? How good are they going to be? 304-396-TALKS, our text line this hour, 304-396-8255. We're going to keep it open for you this hour. It is wide open for you on our text line. Looking forward to hearing from you, talking about, I think, a fun weekend Marshall sports coming up here. We've got a 4 o'clock game, the Herd in action. We'll see if the Thundering Herd can get it done against the Jaguars. That's coming up on Saturday, 4 o'clock tip. And we'll have that for you on 93.7 The Dog. More coming up on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you need. From the NFL, NBA, NCAA basketball, to college football bowl games and the national championship. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road. Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Glockner's Too Easy initiative has returned for 2024. We're making it too easy to get more for your trade with our biggest cash offers. We pay more. Too easy to save time because Glockner has the fastest, most transparent 5-star shopping experience around. Too easy to find the vehicle perfect for you as Glockner has the area's biggest pre-owned inventory. That's why it's too easy to buy a car at Glockner.
We make it easy at Glockner.com. In the tapestry of life, we encounter stories of legacy and accomplishment, but sometimes also abuse, neglect, or financial exploitation. Adult Protective Services understands the importance of safeguarding the well-being of our loved ones, our neighbors, and our community. To report neglect or abuse, call 800-352-6513. Sponsored by the Administration for Community Living, West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources, Bureau for Social Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project was supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $383,493, with 75% funded by ACL, HHS, and 25% in the amount of $85,236 funded by state government sources. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by, ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You saved my life. You held my hand when I was scared. You helped me say goodbye to my dad. You were an example for me. You gave me strength when I thought I had none left. I couldn't tell you then, but I want to say thank you, all of you, for everything. Thank you to the physicians, nurses, and others working in America's hospitals and health systems. A message from the American Hospital Association, American Medical Association, and American Nurses Association.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's our number. That's the text line number. You can always be a part of the program. You can also find me on X, formerly known as Twitter. That is at Paul Swann. Welcome back to today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. It's kind of a casual Friday around here. We've got basketball coming up tomorrow for those of you who are set to watch the Herd take on I don't know what we're going to get tomorrow, to be honest with you. I really don't know what to expect from the league these days. But we've got Georgia State coming in. They're one of the better teams in bench scoring. They're a team that right now is 500, 8-8, but they're only 1-3 in league play. Their net is 241 right now. Their Ken Palm is 226, and that's comparing it to Marshall's net of 188. Ken Palm's got him at 173. Of course, all of that is kind of moot. We'll just have to see what happens tomorrow. And again, that's going to be a 4 o'clock tip. Time shift for all the weekend games starting with tomorrow. 4 o'clock for all Saturday games. And, of course, you can listen to it on our sister station, 93.7 The Dog. But this is a team that's pretty good on the perimeter. They're pretty good in bench scoring. They get about 25 points off the bench. Marshall's not really ever going to lead that category or even come close to that in league, but they're giving up a lot of points, but they're getting a lot of points from the bench as well. So they're not a bad team. And I know I say that now. They're not a bad team. And you're asking yourself, okay, are you trying to convince me or are you trying to convince yourself, Paul, if they're a good team coming in? I'm just optimistic. I'm just optimistic that we're going to get a good game tomorrow. Not that good. I don't want a good game like we got the other night against Georgia Southern. I don't want that kind of game. I want a game where, okay, maybe it's interesting for a while and then Marshall just puts them away. Sort of like what the women did when they went down to Georgia State and got that win. You can get a field goal for several minutes and then shut them down. That was crazy. I don't know if you watched that game yesterday, and we probably didn't talk about that enough, but Marshall didn't have a field goal for, I think, the first 5 minutes or so of the game, and then Marshall just goes on a tear, outscores them by 14 over the final 3 quarters, wins the game 90-78. And so Marshall is 4-0 in conference play. And here's a more important stat. 9 of his last 10. Marshall has won 9 of his last 10 and 4 in a row undefeated in conference play. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since the men and the women were undefeated together at the same time, 4-0 in league play. Absolutely. I haven't seen women's basketball get this good in a long time. I think we got to go back to the Southern Conference days when Marshall women's basketball really was one of the, I don't want to say elite programs. They were close in the Southern Conference on the women's side. And, of course, yeah, I know we're going back a ways here. We're jumping back in the Wayback Machine for this. But critics aside, Marshall right now is 4-0 in league play. That's not terrible. I'll take that any day. Absolutely. I'll take that any single day for Marshall to be 4-0 in league play. South Alabama should be an interesting contest tomorrow. They did lose at JMU 89-55. If that kind of gives you an idea of what we can expect tomorrow. I don't know. So I don't know how well Marshall stacks up against JMU yet. It's still early. I don't know. I don't know if that score is really indicative of what this team's about. JMU is pretty good right now. We'll know more. I think we'll know more here in the next few weeks. We'll definitely know more shortly because after this, Marshall's got Old Dominion and James Madison. That's going to be, I think, Old Dominion not so much. Marshall is familiar with Old Dominion. So if that game's tight, I don't worry about that one because it's Old Dominion. Marshall and Old Dominion, they know each other a little bit better than some of the other teams. But, once Marshall gets into that game with James Madison, I think we'll know a little bit more about where this team's at as we get closer to the homestand. I mean, Marshall's got a huge homestand coming up, and that's going to help maybe set the tone for the rest of the way. 4 straight at home, and it's going to help balance out because after the homestand, which will be 4 straight, Marshall's going to have 5 of its last 7 on the road. I think I'd rather would have seen this spread out a little bit better. I don't know if I like these big chunks in the middle. They got a 4-game homestand, then they got a 3-game road trip, 2 games at home, and then they finish it out with 2 on the road. And I know you got to balance that out a little bit. I don't know if maybe I don't know how you balance that out because they started with Louisiana at home, and then they got 2 on the road. Maybe you start conference play a few days later instead of starting when they did on December 30th. Maybe, okay, you just start with league play, starting what they did on January 3rd, and then you try to balance that out a little bit more. I mean, on the one hand, you get 4 home games, and that's going to be great, and then you got 5 of the next 7 on the road. So I don't know if the schedule can be made any better. I probably would have, if possible, I would have tried to figure a way to maybe balance that out. I don't like the mismatch on the schedule. I mean, it's not drastic. I mean, look, the road trip is at Troy, at App State, and Coastal Carolina. But Troy's on the 7th, App State is the 15th, Coastal is the 17th February. And then the final 2 games are at Georgia Southern, at Georgia State. I mean, at least that's easy. That's an easy swing. But the good news here is Marshall doesn't have the crazy schedule that it did in Conference USA. That's the only thing here. I mean, look at this. The road trip's Old Dominion and James Madison. That's what's coming up. That's not terrible. I mean, and Troy's probably, of the basketball slate, Troy's probably, I don't know, how would you rate getting to Troy compared to getting to Boone, North Carolina? How would you rate that in experience? I've never made the trip to Troy, so I couldn't say. I mean, Coastal, that's just oceanside property here in West Virginia. Coastal is. So that's really not a hardship there. And getting to Georgia Southern, Georgia State, that's not a hardship here. I mean, honestly, I think only thing I would have liked to have seen better is just a balanced home road instead of 4 games at home and then 3 on the road, 2 at home, 2 on the road. I think I would like to see a little bit more balance there. Spread it out just a little bit more. But as we're talking about this, we're getting deeper into the league schedule here. 3rd weekend now for league play, and still the Herd's undefeated, and we've got that game coming up. And you can listen to it on our sister station, 93.7 The Dog. More coming up, including your text at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Get big savings on your bathroom update at Menards. We have everything you need to create the bathroom of your dreams with Sterling tubs and showers that fit your style and your budget. Like the Sterling Ensemble Medley Tub and Shower. Its tongue and groove interlocking joints form a seamless appearance and make installation quick and easy. Its durable high gloss finish finish provides lasting beauty. Get yours today for $699.99. Big buys, big savings. Right now at Menards. Price is good through January 14th.
Save big money at Menards.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. In Huntington, Ray Crabtree, 304-736-8181. In Lavalette, Jason Elkins, 304-529-7555. And in Charleston, Lisa Godwin, 304-984-0000.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, and baked lasagna. Giovanni's has the best sandwiches around, from the stromboli, Italian sub, calzones, and their signature Big Red. All dinners will be served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's Pizza, fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aww. He just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-414-7272. That's 800-414-7272. 800-414-7272.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
2 seconds left on the clock, third field goal range, and it looks like he's going to go with a 5-iron. No, wait. The quarterback is skating back on the ice. He's talking with his caddy. They're pulling the goalie. He skates off the fairway as the kicker lines up his putt. It's a breakaway. They bundled their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Touchdown savings, birdie goal.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
How was your day? What did you do in school? I'm Dale Lee, president of the West Virginia Education Association, and these 2 simple questions can encourage learning in your home. Showing interest and asking about the school day can help motivate your children and keep them excited about learning. So stay involved, stay curious, and ask specific questions. Student success involves the whole family.
A message from the West Virginia Education Association.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
304-396-TALK is the text line. Welcome back to today's edition of The Drive for this Friday, January 12th here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Coming up tomorrow, Marshall in action taking on South Alabama. We've got that game for you on our sister station. 3 o'clock's our airtime on 93.7 The Dog. We'll have NFL action coming up tomorrow and on Sunday and on Monday as well. All of that's coming up on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. How many Cleveland Browns fans are going to be locked to their TVs tomorrow that are Herd fans? Look for your Cleveland Browns fan friend tomorrow. Look for them. I'm curious. Curious. This is a big deal. The Browns taking on the Texans tomorrow. It's going to be 4:30 p.m. We'll go on the air at 4 o'clock with that one here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I mean, we've got an interesting couple of days here. First of all, the Dolphins and Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be the later game, and that's going to be on Peacock only. How many of you have Peacock? Raise your hand. Not many, right? I mean, I have Peacock. It was on Black Friday sale. I actually took the opportunity to get the Black Friday sale. It was really cheap, and I think I paid up for the year. It was really cheap. I just went ahead and did it. Like, okay, I'm going to do that, get it for the year, and I can watch some of the sports they have on there, watch some of the wrestling, get home after the Marshall game, and I can tune in a little bit to that one. The Dolphins and the Chiefs. Chiefs, the 3 seed. How crazy is that? The Chiefs are a 3 seed. But how many of you are going to sign up for Peacock for one game? Not many. I don't think so. And, of course, it's the Dolphins and the Chiefs, so it's probably a game that more people want to see. I mean, honestly, I'm not signing up for a streaming service to watch the Browns and the Texans. Unless you're a diehard Browns fan, I don't know too many people that would sign up for a service if that was the game. But Dolphins and the Chiefs makes perfect sense. And then, of course, Sunday, we got a full day of games for you with the Steelers and the Bills, the Packers and the Cowboys, and then the Rams and the Lions. And then Monday night, it's going to be on everything you could possibly throw at it. Philadelphia at Tampa Bay, that's going to be on the radio. It's going to be on ESPN Plus. It's going to be on ESPN, ESPN2, ABC. It's going to be on a lot of platforms. And, of course, as I mentioned, we got that for you right here as well. So if you can't watch the game tomorrow, you want to follow along, we've got you covered. But I think that's going to be the trend. We're going to see more and more of these playoff games, not just regular season games, not like Thursday night football, which has gone to prime, but I think we're going to see more and more. I don't know if we'll get to the point where AFC Championship, NFC Championship is going to be streaming only exclusive. I don't know if we get to that point just yet. I mean, there's still some value in having a game on over-the-air terrestrial broadcasting, but of course, the game that's on ESPN is also going to be on ABC, and that's the Monday night game. But if I'm NBC, you see where my priority is. NBC and the leagues with them. Instead of having a doubleheader, NBC went with the Cleveland game early at 4:30, and then the game that's probably going to be more sought after as far as people to watch on a Saturday night, Kansas City and Miami. I'm sure that a lot of places that will have to subscribe to Peacock commercially, like restaurants, they'll have that game. But would you just sign up for streaming service for a month for one game? I'm curious. Have you done that? Have you done that for Marshall games? Like, okay, sometimes I know Marshall games have been on Flow Sports. Have you signed up just for that one game? 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I will admit, a few years ago when I didn't have sports channels, I was living off streaming. The only thing I had was ESPN Plus because I just wasn't home enough to have value in the package, and that's when a few more things were that I wanted to watch. Okay, streaming. I did subscribe to Sling TV. I got the trial, which was pretty cool, actually. It's actually not bad service, or it wasn't anyway. I've done that, but it was like a month trial. And I think Peacock's that way as well, but it was something that I got some use out of just a little bit because I wanted to watch, again, it's gotten better since, but I wanted to watch some hockey games. And the only way I could do that at the time, I didn't want to jack up the package to get to where I could watch those games. Now, honestly, thanks to ESPN Plus, the NHL Center Ice package is so cheap because now, one, it's included in ESPN Plus, but even if you weren't a Plus subscriber, you could get that package a lot cheaper. But there's a lot more value as far as Peacock is concerned. I don't know how much value is on Peacock. I mean, could you imagine? I mean, is this sort of like maybe the beginning, testing the waters to make sure, because we're going to see more of these games go to services like this? I mean, already we got ESPN Plus, we've got Prime. You want to watch soccer, you got to go to Apple TV. And now Peacock's not necessarily, at least with Paramount Plus, there was a time when they were on DirecTV. This was a DirecTV thing, but DirecTV and the parent company of Channel 13 hadn't reached a deal yet. So I actually had to have Paramount Plus to watch, like, I think the first week of NFL action, and that was fun. But I had Paramount Plus already. Texter writes in and says, I haven't signed up for any of these streams, but I don't have to. I get them for free elsewhere. Okay, we'll leave it at that. I'm not encouraging that, not condoning that, not going to give you out the free links. I'm not doing that, not condoning that at all. Because there have been times when people have bragged about how they have taken advantage of free stuff on radio shows, and then they got busted. I'm not doing that. Never. Even if I was, which I'm not. I'm not going to admit that. It's getting crazy out there. Thankfully, Netflix isn't doing sports yet, streaming sports. It's getting stupid. Remember years ago, I was like, oh, yeah, man, this is going to be great. All these games are going to be on streaming, and now it's so fragmented. Like, okay, I got to get Paramount Plus. I got to get Peacock now. I got to get Amazon Prime, which not everybody has. I don't know who doesn't have that, but I'm sure not everybody has Prime. And now you got to get other sports services. And I think if you're a sports fan, you got to have ESPN Plus. Automatically, just get ESPN Plus. Let's go back to the text line. We're starting to get this fired up. Texter wants to know what my predictions for the NFL games this weekend. This is a good one. All right, let's see. As much as I want to say Houston gets the win over Cleveland, I feel like I got to go with the Browns. Even though Houston's the 4 seed, I think Cleveland's probably the better team. They've been able to win, and they finished second in the division. So I'm going to say Cleveland wins over Houston. I'm going to take Kansas City over Miami on Saturday. Sunday, Pittsburgh beats Buffalo. I'm just not convinced. In Buffalo. I think Pittsburgh beats Buffalo. Dallas beats Green Bay. Detroit beats the Rams. And only because I want to stay friends with Luke Creasy over at the Herald-Dispatch, I'm going to take Philadelphia over Tampa Bay. That's my first weekend of action predictions. Cleveland, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Dallas, Detroit, Philadelphia. I think my Super Bowl pick is still going to be Baltimore and San Francisco. I know that's chalk. I'm going to take chalk on this one. But I like Dallas's chances, and honestly, I like Philadelphia's chances. So San Francisco is my lock with a potential Dallas or Philadelphia, maybe disrupting that a little bit. Sorry, Spencer Atkins over at Channel 13. Sorry about your Detroit Lions. I don't have them going all the way. In the AFC, I've got Baltimore facing off against Kansas City for the right to go to the Super Bowl. And I think if there's any team in here that could probably disrupt a little bit of that, I think it's going to be Cleveland. Pittsburgh gets past Buffalo, but I don't think any further. And Cleveland, I think, makes it interesting. But ultimately, I've got Baltimore and Kansas City. I like it. Bengals, we'll see you next year. I feel good about the Bengals, though. They didn't make the playoffs. That's fine. I feel like they're okay. Get Joe Burrow back. It might be a different season. Got to get some offensive line production. Got to make sure you take care of Jamar Chase. I put the franchise tag on T. Higgins. T will get paid. You can have some time there. I don't know if I trade T. I thought about this. I thought about taking T. Higgins, trading him, but I would put the franchise tag on him. I'd take care of Jamar Chase, and I'd find some help in that offensive line, make sure that Joe Burrow is taken care of. I mean, that's my first priority, take care of my quarterback. But they looked okay. Even with Burrow hurt after a while, I thought, okay, they looked okay. They're not as bad as I think they are this season. They just ran into some hardship here. And, of course, the division's always tough. This has probably been the best the division's been in a while, with the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Browns getting in. And honestly, the Ravens and the Browns deserve to be there. The Steelers work their way in, but if you can only take two, I think the Ravens and the Browns are definitely going to be the better teams. Pittsburgh got itself in. A couple of things go a different way, and they're not in. So it's a tough division. And every team had a winning record in the division. That's the one thing that you can look at. AFC North was probably the best division, and I like Baltimore over Kansas City coming out of the AFC. I like San Francisco to win the NFC. And I think I'm going to take Baltimore to win it all. Baltimore beats San Francisco for the Super Bowl. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Did I get it right? Well, we'll find out, but did I get it right? More coming up. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Working Man Store in Huntington. Check out the biggest inventory of scrubs in West Virginia, featuring brands such as Healing Hands, Dickies, Cherokee, and Med Couture at the best price. Working Man Store has one of the largest selections of big and tall shirts, jackets, and jeans in the area. Working Man Store is the king of blue jeans with Levi's, Dickies, Carhartt, Lee, and Wranglers in sizes up to 72. And Working Man Store has the best selection of men's work boots and casual shoes anywhere at the best price. Working Man Store, open every day at 140 5th Avenue, Huntington.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you need. From the NFL, NBA, NCAA basketball, to college football bowl games and the national championship. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Get the tire that will see you through the cold and then some. The long-lasting all-season Michelin Cross Climate 2 tire, because winter doesn't last forever. Between 11:15 and 12:05, get $70 via reward card or virtual prepaid card after online submission with the purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires. $70 tire rebate on all tire lines, plus a $30 bonus rebate on Michelin winter tires only. See TikTok Tire, 3rd Avenue in Huntington, across from Jones C. Edwards Stadium.
www.michelinman.com/auto/deals-promotions-and-rebates for complete detail. Offer expires 12/5/23. Void where prohibited.
Here's another Kinder Communications Community Chatter. A celebration of artistic expression spanning 2 decades is coming up. Ohio University Southern's Art Gallery hosting the opening of Penciltown. Select drawings from the past 20 years. That'll be taking place Thursday, January 18th, 5 to 6:30 p.m. at Ohio University's Southern Campus.
This Kinder Communications Community Chatter brought to you by Black Sheep Harley-Davidson, 4th Avenue and 4th Street, downtown Huntington, online at blacksheephd.com.
The more vulnerable among us can fall victim to abuse, neglect, and financial exploitation. When navigating your way out, it doesn't have to feel like a maze. Assistance is available from Adult Protective Services. To report neglect or abuse, call 800-352-6513. Sponsored by the Administration for Community Living, West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources, Bureau for Social Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station.
This project was supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $383,493, with 75% funded by ACL HHS and 25% in the amount of $85,236 funded by state government sources. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
2 seconds left on the clock, third field goal range, and it looks like he's going to go with a 5-iron. No, wait. The quarterback is skating back on the ice. He's talking with his caddy. They're pulling the goalie. He skates off the fairway as the kicker lines up his putt. It's a breakaway. They bundled their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Touchdown savings, birdie goal.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
It's our final segment, today's edition of The Drive, but our text line's still open. It's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. A couple of coaching changes to tell you about today. First of all, I didn't even have to wait till ESPN sent me the alert, our receptionist here at the radio station. Some of you have met her if you picked up your tickets. She's the biggest New England fan that I know. She grew up in that area, so she has legitimately been a New England fan as long as I've known her, not just a Tom Brady fan. She suffered through all the Patriots losing seasons these last few years. She's running and tell me, hey, did you see our new coach, Jared Mayo? So Jared Mayo is now the head coach of the New England Patriots. Some tough situation to be put in. You're following the guy. Not, I'm coming in here, we're going to build this thing up, or hey, the guy who was with this team before you won 6 Super Bowls here. What can you do? And then, as fast as it came open, Alabama is going to hire. Now, there was some speculation here, but that quickly got shut down. Washington's Kalen DeBoer is going to take that job now. Fresh off the loss in the national championship game to Michigan, there was a strong play from Washington's athletic director to make him top 10 paid coach in the country, double his salary. He was making $4.2 million, and there was an effort to keep him, including doubling his salary. You would have had it made in Washington. You win, they love you there. You don't have to follow the guy. But I guess if you're trying to advance yourself, I mean, anywhere else, it's kind of going downhill now. I mean, what's after Alabama? There are how many jobs can you say once you get that job, anything that follows isn't going to be as good? Let's say Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia. Is there another job that once you get there? I don't know. Georgia, definitely. Right now, it's Georgia, it's Alabama in the SEC. You get there, everything else is going downhill. Michigan right now, Ohio State, I don't know if there's another job. I mean, are you leaving Georgia to go to Tennessee? Probably not. Are you leaving Michigan to go to Purdue? Probably not. Are you leaving Michigan or Ohio State to go to UCLA, USC? Probably not. So Washington, you could have been the king of the West Coast there. But if you're Alabama, you want to make a splashy hire. You want to get one of the hottest coaches, one of the biggest names you can possibly get, and you bring in a coach that had a tough situation to begin with. You take the Huskies to the Pac-12 championship, and you get them in the college football playoff national championship game. You took a program that had seen better days but had fallen on hard times, and you turn it into an instant success, and you get yourself into the championship game. Imagine what he could possibly do at Alabama. I mean, that's the thing. What could he do at Alabama? And we're going to find out. I mean, you're seeing one of the best coaches of college football history. And I know there's probably some saying, look, the debate's closed. He's the best coach in college football history. Yeah, he did a lot of great things. There's no denying that. I mean, Nick Saban is going to be talked about for a long time. When you talk about college football coaches, you know, in our lifetime, it's Nick Saban. In others, it's Bear Bryant. I don't know too many other coaches you can put into that conversation, but Nick Saban's definitely going to be one of those we talk about for a long time, and of course, because he was successful. How would you like to be the guy that follows the guy, though? I mean, seriously, how do you process that? I mean, what's the level of expectation? You come in and, okay, I'm taking over for Nick Saban. Think about that. Let that sink in for a minute. I'm taking over for Nick Saban. I'm taking a program that competes for national championships on a regular basis, and I'm taking over for him. But he just took a Washington Huskies team to the national championship game. Imagine what it could do with Alabama. And there's a $12 million buyout. I'm sure they got that covered. $12 million. Like that means something today in some of these college football programs. $12 million. That's going to do it. Thanks for tuning in. We have fun today, I hope. I'm going to be back with you Monday. We'll have a lot to get into. Marshall basketball, obviously, is going to be probably at the forefront of that. Don't forget, tomorrow on 93.7 The Dog, it's going to be our pregame coverage beginning at 3 o'clock. We will have the game tipping off at 4. And right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, we get started with Super Wild Card Weekend. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I do appreciate it. I'll be back with you on Monday. If there's anything you want to get into my mind now, hit me on Twitter at Paul Swann.
Retransmitting in Glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.
West